And I remember volunteering with you on the other camera, and I was like, wait a minute, like these angles, like this girl must be a professional for real. Like you'll go into like the light bulb in the back and then zoom out. And like I'm like, well, how in the world you think to do that? What's going on, y'all? This is your girl, Marla Denise. You're in for yet another special episode of the Inside My Box podcast. Today, I'm joined by a creative that I admire, Miss Kelz Morgan. What's going on, Kelz?
Oh, hello, Marla. Hello, Marla supporters inside my box. Thank you for having me.
Of course. How you been holding up during the quarantine? I ain't even seen you at church when you have the church, so.
We've been pre-recording. We turned into
Yeah.
like a live studio, kind of.
Okay.
So it's been tough,
Yeah.
but for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But on the upside of that, things are great, on the other side of things.
Okay.
So, yeah.
On everything else that's going on. That's good. That's good. And as I just said, I haven't seen you at church, so I like to start off by like telling people how we met. So first of all, I knew of this church from social media, One Church LA. And someone posted it. They went there. I looked it up online, and then I saw it was like 2 miles away from me. I was like, okay, let me check it out. So I went one day, and I was like, it's a lot of black people here. Let me, and I don't work with a lot of black people. And I was like, I come from an environment that it has a lot of black people. So I was craving that, and I was looking for that. And so not only was the message good, but it was a lot of black people around my age there. And I'm like, I gotta like be in here. So I started going on a regular basis. And then like y'all put a flyer up saying that the camera crew needed volunteers. I said, well, I don't know anything about cameras at all. But I can, maybe zoom in and zoom out a little bit, do what I can. And so I went to the meeting, signed up, and started volunteering. And like one time, I don't remember the first time because it's two main cameras at the time. I don't know what it is now, but like it was two main cameras. And I remember volunteering with you on the other camera. And I was like, wait a minute, like these angles, like this girl must be a professional for real. Like you'll go into like the light bulb in the back and then zoom out. And like, I'm like, well, how in the world you think to do that? Like, so tell me a little bit about your experience, us meeting at church, your experience at One Church LA volunteering there.
Well, first off, Mississippi, Marla does her thing on camera. She definitely blew me away the first time I saw her, and she was like, oh, I've never done this. And I was like, hold on, you definitely are gifted in that department. First off. Secondly, I had the same kind of experience, except for not social media. A friend of mine from college, just, man of God, he was like, hey, Kelz, come to church with me. Went there, felt just like you. I looked around and was like, and then the message was just like, blew me away. This was like right before First Lady came. This is like 2014.
Oh, wow.
So this was like right in between the gap. So being there, I'm just like, wow, this is an anomaly. Like seeing this many young people on fire for God, I have to get involved. So that's when I, same thing as you, reached out, got a response, and I started serving. And then it just felt like, I actually had a void that was filled. You know what I mean?
Oh, nice.
On, even if it's once a week, like you belong.
Yeah.
Into a group of people that have the same beliefs.
Yes. It was a great community, and that's one of the things I miss the most in this quarantine situation is being able to gather with like minded people. Because I would go Thursday and Saturday. I mean, it's not Saturday, Sunday, regularly. Like I was in there, and you as well, you know, not even if I'm not volunteering, because the word is so good. And then like you see familiar faces and you get to know people, and I was like, I love that, and I can't wait to get back in that for sure. But you've still been doing it, you know, just, you know, a smaller crew getting the job done, but like having that feel of people around you, like, you know, it's nothing like that. So
Yeah, I feel like when it does come back, I feel like I forgot how it was, even in this short amount of time. Like,
man,
I don't
it's a
know.
movie. It's a movie. Like I love to have people who come to visit me come to church with me. Like I hate when they leave before Sunday. I'm like, y'all, come on, because
Yeah,
it's like it's a good experience. But
definitely.
yeah. Anyways, you volunteer. You had the same experience as me, but you don't have the same background as me because you actually do this for a living and you work as a creative in like production. What made you go into like being a full-time creative as a professional?
Full time, I just got fired from every job. Like, literally from food to retail to telemarketing, like nothing ever worked out.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, like any entrepreneur, you figure
Yeah.
out, okay, what does work for me is my brain
Right.
and, you know, my creative skills. So that's when God kind of like forced me into it. Cause it's
Yeah.
like, I'll apply to like Viacom, I'll apply to BET, you know, I'll apply to all these big places, you know, having a degree and everything. But for
Right.
some reason, it was just like I was overlooked. So
And
that
that
made me step into entrepreneurship.
that is the same reason why I started my company. I was not, and I still haven't gotten like a way to do the things that I like to do in finance. So I built my whole company just so like I could do that thing. And like
Amen.
it's crazy how God lead, because I never thought that I would be like an entrepreneur. I
Mhm.
never would, like I was like, you know what, just get a good job and then like work there forever and
Yeah,
like
retire.
be bored, you know, and then retire and, you know,
Yeah.
play with the grandbabies. And that was I thought that was it. But then I got into what the real world was and realized that like you ask for a job, that means they control a lot of what you do.
Yeah.
They control how you live. It's a lot. And I was like, I can't, this is like, I'm still in it, but like I at least have, you know, some on the side. So I commend you for being full time with it, even though it felt like force. God, God works in mysterious ways, and I hope to like one day be a full time entrepreneur like you. So,
Amen.
um, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that.
So what gave you the bug to do producing or camera work? What was the first thing? What was childhood Kelz like drawn to? Like how did you even
Um,
become interested in this?
well, I always was a drawer. My mom
Okay.
said I used to do storyboards when I was younger. She found an old journal of mine where I was just, you know, doing storyboards, telling stories through pictures.
How did
And
you even know how to do that though?
that's what I mean. It was God, just, you know, certain things you have a knack
Yeah.
for. Like some people can dance and you're like, how do they know how they got that rhythm?
Right.
So I had that knack for storytelling. I always loved to read. I always loved to write. So that was kind of like me as a child. And then I started athletics
Okay.
and started playing basketball. But I was kind of small, but good. But I wasn't going far.
I
I
bet you
was
were a good
5'6".
point. You were I bet you were moving that ball, boy. You
I
were.
was trying, but it was, I was like, you know, I'm too short for this. So I started doing track, and from there, I was
Okay.
like, you know, the fourth best in my city in DC.
Ooh.
Really good, and I played AAU, USA,
What track? What exactly?
track and field.
Like what were you doing? Like what running? Like
400 meter,
okay.
100 meter run. I did all 3 seasons, cross country, indoor, outdoor.
Wait a minute now. You were running fast and slow and long?
Yeah,
That's a lot. Pick one. What?
I
That's a
loved
lot.
it. Loved it. I
That's
loved
why you in shape now. I should have done. I should have done a little bit. I was on the field part of track and field. You know, I
it.
ain't moved my body. I just moved my arm with the
A shot
shot put.
put.
Yeah,
See, I
I
could.
wasn't good though.
I couldn't do the shot put. But I definitely ran. I ran from age 9 all the way to 17.
And
And
then, so what made you think, okay, I'm an athlete. I have this knack for like doing pictures as stories. What then made you think, oh, let me pick up a camera?
well, from there, I went to college. I had a
Uh,
small scholarship in track. And at
okay.
the time, I was in a relationship with a person. It was my high school sweetheart at the time. So went to school, got hurt. Unfortunately, while I had the scholarship, lost the scholarship,
Oh man.
and then just the relationship didn't work. So you know how you kind of place your value in sports and a relationship. So both of those things were like diminishing. So I was like, from
Mm.
there, I'm going home. So I left college. Me and her broke up, and then I was home. I met another person I started dating. She was a singer, and um, she started performing on the streets and bought me a camera. From there, she performed outside the White House, outside Verizon Center in DC. Shout out to DC. You know where that is. And anywhere that we could make money during that time. I was 18 years old, just came home from school, about to turn 19, just dropped out of college.
Mm.
So, it was new love at the time. And also, I had a camera, she was singing, put it together, and I started, editing what she was doing on the street singing. From there, that's when I started loving filmmaking. I started loving it from there. And once I got that camera, I was just like, it was like something from my childhood just snapped.
So
And
all everything is self-taught?
that's how it started. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's how it began. Yes.
Okay. And then so after you got the bug and it just things happened the way it happened for a reason, we know, and you continued on with it. What made you continue on? So how did you hone into your skills? How did you develop them? What made you push past the just survival, doing this like with your girlfriend at the time and just like filming for her, then to like be like, no, this is something I can really do, and then start doing it like for other people.
So then from there, I applied online to a local public access TV show, TV
Mm.
network. So something like LA TV was only local channels.
Okay.
Yeah. So I applied to DC TV,
Okay.
local channels only, and I met a man there named Frank Nelson. Rest in peace, sir. And he became a mentor to me, and he hired me and her, but he took a liking to me, and he showed me the control room, and gave me a responsibility to start editing the shows. um,
Wow.
Public access TV, and it was a music show, ironically. So from there, I just was like, dang, I like this because now I'm not just doing stuff for that. Now I have
Hmm.
another situation here. So from there, I was just like, I love it. And unfortunately, once again, that relationship kind of went sour, but I had this new love. So it wasn't
Yeah.
two things now. It wasn't track, track, both of them fell. Now I had this, but the relationship fell. So from there, I was like, oh, I can really do this. I could maybe go back to school.
Mm.
So some way, God only knows, I found a arts festival, job fair, no,
What?
college fair at the Verizon Center, in my hometown, DC. And I was like, Mom, I want to go to this. So my mom agreed to go with me. Went there, and I wanted to go to a school called Cal Arts, out here in LA.
Oh, I've heard of that.
Walt Disney's like the owner, his family.
Oh, okay.
I was like in love with that school. Went there, wasn't what I thought, but for some reason I saw this African American man. He just stood out in the crowd in front of this school called Columbia College Hollywood, which I graduated from.
Oh,
And I
nice.
saw him, and I just was like, my mom was like, well, let's go talk to him. So I'm like, I'm thinking
Uh-huh.
the same thing. Go over there, find out about the school. I applied, had to get deferred because at the time I wasn't old enough to be independent, and my mom
Oh,
didn't have the credit so I can use, financial aid.
okay.
So I had to wait. So got deferred for a year. I'm in this bad relationship, at the time, but I love her. So I don't want
Mm.
to say that. But I'm in this relationship at the time and I'm waiting to go to school. So I'm standing in the gap.
But you let me pause right there because you keep on mentioning the relationship. You know the reason she was in your life though,
Yes.
to show you your purpose.
Amen.
So it wasn't a failed anything. It worked.
You
So
did.
yeah,
Right.
I mean everything happens for a
Yeah, I
reason.
want to change my language on that because it was great. Definitely check me on that.
No,
It was
no, no. I ain't trying to check you or anything. I'm just saying, I don't want you to feel bad about that situation because she actually propelled you into what you're supposed to be doing in your life. It not just her in particular, but God placed her in your life so that
definitely.
can happen. Yeah. But
You're right.
anyways, go on. Finish your story. My bad.
Right though. So yeah, from that, I'm standing in the gap of that, and I'm waiting to go to school. Finally, another miracle of God. My mom and myself go to a wedding of my brother's best friend, and
Mm-hmm.
at the wedding is my brother's best friend's sister who lives out here in LA, and
Mm.
she just happens to mention, "Hey, I'm out there in LA. I can maybe ask my friend if Kelz can stay there."
Nice.
Out of everywhere in LA, the woman's house, her friend's house, Marla, was 2 blocks away from the school in Tarzana.
Girl, what?
Yes, yes.
God,
Uh, like stuff you can't explain. So she
like for
asked
real.
her,
When
yes,
in my time of interviewing people, I have noticed that there's a common thread of the way life goes, but the ease on which the next step comes is a sign.
yes,
Like when you think of something you want to do, and then God be like, "All right, here you go. Here's the next step into getting that done," and you like, "What?" And then you just got to keep going with it,
yes.
man.
That's, you are so right. That's exactly what it is. It's like, how does it happen? So you have to take it. You have to take that opportunity.
You got to.
There's no explanation. My mom never met this woman. For that to
That's
come,
crazy.
and it for her as a perfect stranger, can my daughter stay with you? So of course
Wow.
she said yes. So I moved out there, slept in her extra room on that couch, and that's how I got here, taking that
Wow.
leap in,
And you graduated with a degree in what?
in cinema and fine arts producing.
Oh, got you. Okay. So, cinema and fine arts is the study of all things cinematic. Like, is it just the production of it as far as camera work, angles, cinematography? What all do you study in the film of cinematography?
You're right. All
Okay,
principles of production, everything
got you.
from the beginning, knowing how to budget,
Oh,
looking
okay.
at locations, to knowing how to break down a script, to writing a script.
Oh, whoa, that's more
They
than
give
I
you
thought.
they give you everything that you can learn about making a movie, even editing. Then of course
Okay.
camera work, because you could pick your courses that way. When you're finished, okay, I want to declare this major
Hmm.
based on everything that I took.
Oh,
So
got you. Okay. So
that's
that's dope. That's growing up, I always like loved music. If I knew, I didn't even know there were schools for people who wanted to work in music. If I knew that, I might have not gone to the college that I chose.
what
Cause it
instrument?
like, huh?
What instrument?
I used to play flute, and then I was really good at flute, but I gave it up when I went to college because I had a full academic scholarship. So I just like was like, forget the, whatever else. I was being a nerd. Like I was like, I'm gonna be a full time nerd and just like study, study,
We
and
need
I
your
gave
brain.
it up. Huh?
We need your brain. We need that.
But
But
we need
that's right.
we
That's
need
right.
creatives like you though, and you actually have done the work to make sure you are solidified in your knowledge and like what you do. And that's why when I saw your angles and how I was impressed by it, I just like immediately knew that you weren't a regular girl from the street, doing this. You like me, you know. So what all do you do in entertainment though? So you work as a producer now, right? And then what else? What are your titles?
Producer, production manager. I do some assistant directing, and I
Mm.
do some directing as well.
Okay, so for me and other people like me who don't know what that means,
Yes.
producing, I've been out here for 4.5 years and I think I have a little understanding. Okay, so you are like the president of the production. Like you make sure if I'm thinking like a business sense, there's a
Yeah.
CEO, which would be whoever owns the product or whoever, like the company who hired you or whatever,
Mhm.
and you're the president, in which you make sure all everything is in position to work properly. Like you have a budget in place and you're following that. You have a director, you have the actors, you know when craft services is coming. You just make sure everything flows the way it's supposed to flow as a producer. Do you have creative say as a producer as well?
It depends. Sometimes they'll give you that. There's different types of producers. So you will have the executive producer. That
Okay.
person, I don't. I would love to be at that level, at a big level. I executive produce my own projects,
Mm-hmm.
but at a big level, executive producers provide the capital, and they
Okay.
don't necessarily have anything to do with creativity at all. They
Ah.
can't say, "Hey, cut that," because we can't afford it, but
Mm-hmm.
they won't say, "Hey, I want to change that line."
Oh.
There, then the type of producer I am is exactly what you said, putting the pieces together. So I would look at a project and say, okay, I see it's written about vampires and they're walking down the street in a land. So I'm looking at that in each scene, okay, where is this taking place? So I have to find a location based on the way the script reads and stay within the budget for each scene. So there might be 60 scenes. Each
Ooh.
scene, I have to break down each element to say there's this many characters, there's this many props, there's this many actors, there's
Mm-hmm.
this many fight scenes, weapons, cars, whatever's going on in those
Wow.
scenes. And then from there, you take those elements and then you go to your team, then you budget them out and you say, okay, how much can I get this for? And you start
Mm-hmm.
maybe bartering or figuring out deals to make each scene happen. And then from there, you have your budget, and then you want to begin scheduling from there. Then you can say, okay, let's shoot these scenes this day because of this reason. Maybe these scenes are at night. So you want to do your overnight shoots later in the shoot because it's a 3 month long shoot.
Right.
Maybe you get people comfortable with each other first, get the wheels
Oh,
grinding. So then later on, when they're overnight, everybody gets along, nobody's groggy. So there's certain things as production managers and producers
wow.
you have to like strategize and think about because your team ultimately you want to hire people too. That's another part of the element that work well together because you're going to be around these people for more than one day if it's not like
Yeah.
a music video.
That's
Yeah.
so for someone like me, that would give me high anxiety. So, I I can't handle. That's a lot. That's a lot. So I remember in college, I was a AKA. Well, I am a AKA, and I had to put together this event, and I came up with this bright idea. It was like, who runs the yard? That was the name of the event, and it was gonna be a race of people around the like campus, and whoever wins gets a prize or whatever, but you have to donate in order to get to the race. And then we donated that money to like a boys and girls club or something like that. It was a great idea, right? Did not know the logistics of getting it done. I didn't have a DJ. I was gonna, my mom was like, I think she had a Tahoe at the time. She was gonna pull up in her Tahoe and pop the trunk with some music. And it was just a bad idea. I didn't have snacks. I didn't have water. I did. And when I tell you that morning, I was in bed dreading it, and it started raining. I said, "Woo, yes, yes." And then I just told people it was canceled because of the rain, but really, it wasn't gonna happen anyways because I ain't have nothing. So I admire your brain's ability to put all those pieces together Like, cause I really that I couldn't do it.
That's hilarious. But that's exactly why I don't have time for the creative side, because when you have all that going on, plus people's personal problems, because
Mm.
now you have to worry about paying people. So now
Uh,
everybody may have a story why they need to get paid early. So
Lord.
it's like, now don't ask me about Betty saying this in the scene. I don't care what Betty says.
You
Trying to
gotta
make
get
sure
this stuff
Betty keep
done.
that much.
Right.
Like, like don't ask me anything.
Yeah.
So yeah, planning is so important with what I do,
And
because it's people, dealing with people.
yeah. So you mentioned you also direct as well, right?
Yes.
So so directors, to my understanding, I like to break it down to my understanding. It's like the producer will hire the director, would they not? Or would the person who owns the executive producer would? And
On
then
an independent basis, yes, the EP may, or the
okay.
director, or the producer, I'm saying, or may. So the person
Oh, gosh.
paying for it, or the person that hires the person to run the whole production will
Got you.
put
Oh, that
it
makes sense. Okay, and then so the producer is the one who, not the producer, the director is the one who looks at the scenes and they know where they want to put Betty, right? Like if Betty is the vampire walking down the street, we want Betty to be over there while Michael is over there, and we want this, they visualize it,
Yes.
and then they tell you what they need to make their vision come to life, and you give them the tools, and they are like the people with the tools putting it together. Is that correct?
You got it.
Ooh, I mean, I'm learning. It's only 4.5 years in, I know a little bit.
Yes.
So what do you like to do better than producing or acting, directing?
Um, Production managing and producing.
Okay.
It's a lot tougher,
That sounds
but
it.
I enjoy it. I
And
enjoy
you
it.
also have an eye for camera work, so I think you would probably be even a natural director, even without like much effort. I would think. Would you agree?
I like it. Yeah.
Okay,
I
okay.
just, like if I had to pick, it
Produce.
would produce the
Put that
production.
boss hat on. Okay, I got you.
It was funny.
So let's talk about your company then. So you found your love, you found your purpose, you walking in it, you're living in it, and you really took it to the next level like all entrepreneurs do, and set up your own business called God Over Everything Production Company. And let's tell me a little bit about starting that company and what services you offer, things like that.
Yes. God Over Everything Movement production company.
Oh, got you.
So we based in LA, offering production rentals and also production services, full crew or skeleton crew,
Oh, nice.
very affordable rates. And our whole thing is definitely helping minority filmmakers, most importantly, get ahead. And what we mean by that is providing opportunities for employment
Mm,
and, staying above the standard or meeting whatever that standard is as far as providing the best technology
mm.
while providing opportunities. So
So
we can have, these conversations with the Hollywood big hits, whoever that may be.
uh so like it's for me, like I like to figure out how to do things on my own, but I always want it to be quality. And it sounds like you're giving opportunities to those up and starting, like, people who want to be into the industry, and they see you doing your thing and they want to get on, but you also require them to like give a quality that will be matched to anywhere.
Correct.
That's
And the
nice.
producing team, that's what we aspire to have more minority producers. That's like the
Right.
main purpose of GOE movement is
Nice.
building producers.
So how did you start the company? What made you were already working as a producer, right? Or you out here after school working. What made you say, I want to start my own company and like outsource, give other people opportunities to come on board? Like what made you be like, okay, let me start this movement?
I already had the entrepreneurial spirit. Had
Oh.
my own company at first that I was trying to start. Like, everybody starts their own little thing. I
Mm-hmm.
had Kelz first, and then I met some people at Columbia, and shout out to them, three other people, and we came together and we were like, let's do GOE group at the time.
Oh.
And that's what it was. Of course, I was still founder CEO of the company, but we all came together to execute it because we need a team out here.
Mm.
From there, unfortunately, how any startup is, it doesn't kick off right away. This is about 2015, I would say, when I was with them, and people went home, and we
Mm.
decided to pretty much go our separate ways.
Oh.
From there, I decided to just go ahead and solely take it on full head. Um, Really, when I say full head, I
Mm.
started doing it full time at that time, not trying to balance it with anything else, and I
Mm-hmm.
became homeless
Oh.
back in 2016, literally right when I graduated from college. So I was going to college right in my senior year, and I was living out of my office doing GOE, trying
Mm.
to make that happen. So that's how I dove into it.
I
Full
wonder, so like hearing your story, it seems like the biggest, well, right before your biggest moves, something tries to set you back, like majorly.
Amen. Yes.
It like the relationship was failing, but at the same time you were gaining your purpose, and then you almost didn't move out here, then you found somewhere to live, and then once you graduated, you came on hard times, but then you kept on going with this movement that is now your main thing, and you're really like doing great work with it. And so it's like it's crazy how that happens.
When you think about it like that, you're right. It's
Man.
like two polars, and it's like you can either go down or
Uh-huh.
so right.
So what I'm thinking is what's in you that makes you push up instead of going down?
The fighter spirit, my mom, and
Mm,
my dad instilled that if you start something, you finish it.
mm,
You don't. You always, you always land it. You always do that, no matter how hard. And my mom always tells me, take 5 minutes. Take 5 minutes, sit down,
mm-hmm.
but always go back to what you started. And I think that's where track came in. Just
Ah,
running, running will put that. You're never
endurance.
going to just stop a race. You have to finish, or you're gonna get laughed out the stadium if you
Wow.
start walking on that track. So when I think about now what God did, that's why I can't stop until I finish because I did that for 9 years of my life.
Mm-hmm.
Always finish every race, no matter what.
Man, I love it. You inspiring me because I got some stuff I need to be fit. I start stuff. My thing is, I have like a fear of success where I'll start something and then I'll see it going well, and I'm like, oh no, people are noticing. Let me go in hiding. Like I don't. And then I just need to like learn this confidence that you have. This like
It's
sense of
hard
like you got to push through. You got to like. I love it. That's great.
to push through. That's a
Uh huh. That's
I'm
wonderful.
to 1,000, sis. I support it. You're pushing through with this podcast.
Yes, I accept that. I'm not gonna make any excuses that it came in my head. I'm
Yeah,
gonna accept that.
yeah.
But so with your God Over Everything movement company, production company, you recently did a watch commercial, which was so dope. What type of productions do you normally go for? What do you offer through your company?
I want to try to stay in stuff that's only faith based, meaning purpose,
Oh, okay.
not religious at all, but purpose bound. 'Cause all
Mhm.
here for something, no matter what you serve. You have a reason to be here. So I try to focus on only creating content for that. Shout out to Amir Eartha Watches. It was his watch company, and what he stands for is his purpose is connected to time because we all are ticking. We
Right.
all getting older.
Yeah.
So I love what it stood for. So I wanted to be a part of that.
Nice. So when someone reaches out to you for content creation, you do like social media content creation, or is it just commercials? Is it YouTube, or all of that?
All of that. And
Okay.
films, films for either YouTube or if you want to put them in festivals, totally up to you. We try to stay on a higher basis, work for hire company. So
Mm-hmm.
we don't really try to attach ourselves too much to your intellectual property. We like to just shoot it for you, and then it's up to you to do whatever you would like to do with the content for our clients.
Oh, got you. So you shoot the video. I like, so I have an idea. Hey, I want to do YouTube interviews, but I want to add effects to it, or maybe I want to do a series or whatever. I can reach out to you and say, "Hey, can you do you do just editing as well, or does it have to be like a whole package of I shoot it, I edit it, I give you the finished product, and then it's yours to do whatever?"
We try to focus on doing it collectively,
Okay, got you.
but we can offer single services if you just want editing, or maybe you
Hmm.
just want development. Maybe you just want to put together a plan.
Okay.
You don't want to shoot it with us, but you need a producer to come in and figure out, like you said, I want to do this event but called the yard. Hey, Kelz, how can I execute this?
I should have called you.
I'm available HBCU.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, we try to do every stage, but we like to do it all together,
Okay.
be a one-stop shop, and then we
Nice.
have our own projects that we do as well.
Where do you see this in the next 5, 10 years? What do you see this as a creative agency where major companies can come to you for production, or what do you envision this becoming?
Yes, God willing that. That's the
Okay.
point. We are blessed. We are blessed. Recently, we did get a partnership deal with a media finance company called a New Enterprise Inc. last week. Shout out
Go
to
ahead.
Tate Jr. So he came literally through God, heaven sent gentleman.
I'm sorry.
Very
Say that name again, because I think my claps cut you off in the audio. What was his name?
Mr. Wesley Tate Jr.
Okay.
Shout out to him once again. Very instrumental gentleman in the kingdom of God, number one. He just decided to partner with GOE movement last week. Like I said, it's a media finance company. So very great for us to have, because that's the missing link. Like I said, providing opportunities, you need capital for that. And
Nice.
something that we couldn't do without capital is
Mhm.
provide equipment, you know what I'm saying, and really get
Yeah.
marketing the way we want to do to get our name out there. So
Mm.
having him and having his just ability and entrepreneurship to be a mentor, just knowing him in these past few months and having a partnership last week actually get sealed, it's just
Nice.
a blessing to have met a black man like that.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Things are coming together. Look at you.
Amen.
How
What a
how
thing.
how do you then find clients, or do clients find you?
That's been the thing. I've been blessed. Like
Mm.
100% of business has been through referrals for me.
Wow.
And then what I do from there, thank you, Jesus, is that I upsell my company into the deals with individuals. So I try
Oh, got you.
I can shoot it myself. You know, we do this at church. I can do a lot myself, but I could do more collaborative. So I try to let people know that, and then I bring
Hmm.
in a camera guy and I say, let me be the director for this because I can better control it if I'm not tugging a big old camera. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? I can look at your hair out of place. So I can look at the dance moves better. I can look, you know what I mean? I
Hmm.
can be a better observer if I'm not holding the camera. So I've
Nice.
always just had, once again, being an athlete, always had that team spirit of just I can do better with more. So I'm grateful, man, to have
That's
this
it's
partnership.
it's I'm excited because I already know your talent, and then all your work ethic, and hearing you talk about this determination and how things are coming together. It's gonna be big. I already know.
So that's the
I,
plan for 5 to 10 years. Yes, to be a household name for production
go
and
ahead.
but to merge faith and Hollywood.
So what do you mean by that, merge faith in Hollywood? Because what's the pastor who he comes to our church sometimes? He's all about faith, but he doesn't compromise his faith for producing. Light skinned dude.
Devon Franklin.
Yes. So,
Yeah.
are you trying to? Is it like on what he's doing? Like, or are you trying to like bring in your faith and intertwine it into what you do, and as far as like the productions that you do, like the projects that you take on in the bigger scale? You know, still.
One
I'm sorry.
spirit. You know how that is. Absolutely the same type of strategy to merge
Mm,
the two because it is possible.
yes.
And
Yeah.
he's been a great, I'm glad you brought him up. He's been a great role model in showing that, yeah, we can do it.
Mm-hmm. No,
Yeah.
it's exciting because I'm excited. I'm trying to think of ways that I can maybe use your service. That's why I was asking some of them questions. I was like, let me see.
Quick commercial, please let us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you also run Revamp LA. It's not a company, is it? Is what do you describe Revamp LA? What is that?
That is a nonprofit
Okay.
affiliate of GOE. I'll
Okay.
say subsidiary of GOE. So it's a daughter company. And
Mm-hmm.
as you know, that's focused on the homeless out here in LA. It's about revamping it
Mm-hmm.
um, through mental health, through spiritual recovery, but we're focusing mainly on homeless music artists that
Mm-hmm.
have pretty much lost it all, lost their dream motivation, and giving them a second chance through a music artist development program, which is a year, and then mental health recovery, like I said, to help them balance the two, to give them hope.
That's so needed, especially like in LA. The like across the street from me right now, there are new tents set up, like a whole line of new tents. Unfortunately, it's getting.
Hollywood Boulevard.
You said
Yeah.
what? Yeah,
Yeah.
Hollywood. So like it's like it's getting worse, unfortunately. I don't see it getting better, even though people say it's getting worse because of the coronavirus situation. A lot of people lost their jobs, unfortunately. And you think maybe it'll get a little better once people start getting their jobs, but the cost of living out here is so expensive that it's like it's hard. Like I don't know what they're doing. Like it's gonna be a city of just like wealthy people. They're gonna push all of us out. So at some point, so like what you're doing, and not only that, just giving them hope or giving them this like mental health rehabilitation. It gives them like a sense of purpose, a sense of excitement, something to look forward to, which is so important. Even if you do have a job, like if you don't like your job, you need something to look forward to. You need that Friday feeling.
Yeah.
So that I love that. And don't you do what do you do? So I don't want to ask too much because I know a little bit about it, and so I don't want to ask too much that you don't want to reveal about it. But as far as the mentorship with the music, what ultimately do you do with them for that aspect of it? Like, how do you let them express themselves musically?
Well, in the past, when we launched it in 2017, we only had one of the homeless elements. So right now, we're trying to relaunch it.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, because of COVID, it's not going to be easy to do that
Right.
artist development part of it. But what we did before was went on the streets, found the artists, put out ads, found the homeless music artists, auditioned them, um, picked the ones that seemed like they really wanted to get their lives together or make a
Mm-hmm.
change. From there, the thing that we could offer at the time was a stage for them to perform and perform
Mm-hmm.
in front of three entertainment industry judges. So we had them perform in front of judges, and then we linked them with homeless shelters and job recovery services to get help after the showcase. So that was the past
Amazing.
model. But now we're doing the artist development program once this COVID thing goes away.
Yeah.
So we can really get in there and do some stuff. And offer, I want to add that, and really offer real housing this time, meaning transitional housing and not just
Mm.
shelter. So that's why this media finance company. Partnership was amazing for the kingdom for this reason.
That's so like because you're doing it out of non-selfish reasons. You're doing it to help others purely. So God gotta bless it. Like
Thank you.
because you're doing something out of your pure want and like you want people in those hardships to like realize that if you have a talent, don't give up, and give them some type of platform and some type of like start and spark. And I like that's essential in people's lives, having hope.
Yeah,
When you get to the point where you're hopeless, you beat up, maybe those situations where you didn't know the next step, and then God gives you that piece of hope and you're like, okay, and it like ignites you to go forward. And that's, I think, Revamp LA will do that for people. It will ignite them to like, okay, I'm down and out right now, but it ain't my forever. You know what I mean?
that's all we want to do. If we
Yeah,
can spark a little bit, then that's what we want to do. Spark a little bit of hope.
that's wonderful. I love it. And then you also sell hats, though. Is that
Yes,
associated with the Revamp LA?
yes.
Okay.
That's merchandise. It's called Make Black Wall Street Again, but we are getting that changed. That was more so for the election to kind of
Oh.
combat the racism. So what it stands for, of course, if you ever come to LA, it's way more Black people in our Skid Row capital than
Mm.
any other race. So it's about the disproportionality for Black people and how it's a revolving door for us. And when we do get to this rehab, we oftentimes end up back on the street. And we don't have financial literacy from like people like Marla that are willing to give advice and willing to help people with ownership, willing to help people learn how to manage their money.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to really focus on revamping Black wealth and ownership. And we want to make a statement with the hats and with the visor element, meaning you have a crown. So that's why there's no top to the hat.
Oh.
You have a crown, let your crown shine, and know that there is hope.
I'm going to get a hat. I already told you before the interview. Send me the
Yeah,
link. I'm
I
going to
will
get a
get
hat.
over.
Because it goes with what I do anyways. Finance. Come on, I'm getting one. and
Exactly your
that's
whole
just
mission.
and that's just the start. You could probably do more merch and other things to sell. To make. I mean, I don't know. I'm just guessing that if you're not gonna redo like the same type of hat, then you're like, do you have ideas of doing like other merch that people can like buy and donate if they wanted to revamp LA?
Be cool. I didn't think about the donate part, but
Absolutely.
yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm already thinking of some winter stuff, but I didn't think about the donate aspect of it. That would be
Yeah,
interesting.
I'm gonna put the link to it in your website in the description. So like whenever this publishes, make sure something's on there so they can donate. I'm gonna make sure. Okay. All
Yeah.
right. So Revamp LA, you do your work with God Over Everything Entertainment. I'm sorry, God Over Everything Movement Production Company. And anything else are you working on at the moment? You seem busy.
Yeah, a lot of indie stuff. Yeah,
Okay.
I get hired as a freelancer often.
Mhm.
That's why I try to bring my company into it. But
Right.
yeah, I have some stuff coming up. Going to Mexico soon, next year,
Ooh,
February, for season 2 of a TV show on WGA Network.
you better go off.
That's hey, the man upstairs just opened
Go
the door.
ahead then, girl.
So I'm excited to go back to Mexico
Okay.
again. And I'm praying the vaccine is out by February because
If not, I've seen people go down to Mexico because they are letting people down there and they come back and they're okay as long as you wear a mask and social distance, I guess.
you're
I,
right.
I don't know how much of that you could do while on a production set, but
It never happens. But hey, you're right. You're right.
well, I'm so excited for you and your future. I'm so thankful that you gave your time to tell me all about and the people listening all about what you do. How can they get in contact with you if they want you to produce something and they have an idea, they don't have anybody in mind, and they want to hire Kelz, how can they get in contact with you?
All right. Myself, GOE Movement, the company, and A New Enterprise Inc. You can go to our website, anewenterpriseinc.com, for any production services, any rentals, anything like that. As far as any homeless donations for our program and our mission, revampla.com. We do grocery drives. Our first one, this will be posted later, but our first one is this Thanksgiving. The week before, we're doing a grocery drive at Liberty
Nice.
Tabernacle Church, giving back groceries to the community. Blessed to do that. We're doing something every month as far as giving back to the less fortunate. So stay tuned for that. Check out both websites for any type of information on that.
Look at you. You better go off. I'm so proud. And if you want
You're
to get,
invited, Carla.
I'm
You're invited.
always, let me know. Just text
Shoot you the
me.
flyer. I am.
For real. I'm down.
I'm shooting you the flyer now.
Come on. And for everybody who's listening, if you want to keep in contact with me, you can find me on Instagram at NSIDE_NY_BOX. Also on Twitter, you know, you can find me talking all types of craziness and sharing
Yes.
music that's not that holy. So until next time, remember to love yourself, define yourself, and think for yourself. Peace.